Trump's regime removes pride flag from Stonewall National Monument. This is Law and Society. Please subscribe. We're going to talk about this intrusion into LGBT rights and into the LGBT culture. So, brief history here. In 1969, June of 1969, there was a protest that was called the Stonewall Riots, where there was this gay bar, Stonewall Inn, that was raided by New York police officers, and transgender people, along with Marsha Johnson and many others, were accosted and put into paddy wagons by the police. And as a result of that, because of the protest that started that day, every single June is Pride Month, and that was the inception of the LGBT Pride movement in America. And that has been the backbone of LGBT rights for most of the world, in how we as a community, as I'm a gay man, would assert ourselves to be worthy of being equals in this world. And so it's very important that we maintain the symbolic presence at the Stonewall National Monument. There's a Christopher Street Park there, and then there's the National Monument, and it is a revision of our history. It is a erasing of LGBT culture if you remove the pride flag from the Stonewall National Monument. And it is it's the same thing that the administration is trying to do with transgender people in the military. It is the same thing as different states are trying to do. As I put it in the description box of this video, Tennessee Equality Project Director Chris Sanders talks about the different laws that are being implemented or being introduced to discriminate against LGBTQ people. And this is not an isolated incident that hasn't happened in history before. In fact, there are echoes of this in the Nazi regime, where Hitler's regime took an anti-sodomy law called Paragraph 175 that was existent in the books already before Hitler came to power. They weaponized it, and then they started taking and kidnapping and detaining and prosecuting gay men for violating Paragraph 175. They didn't look at lesbians as being a problem to their culture, because they had this idea that they could force them to become breeders of the next generation of their, superior race. But men having relations with men was a problem for the Reich, and so they criminalized a previous statute, weaponized it, and not only did they imprison gay men, but thousands and thousands of them were sent to concentration camps. And there's a movie called Paragraph 175, and I've put the movie links from Apple and Google. It's a documentary, and you'd have to pay for it if you want to watch it. Or there's also a talk about it in the City University of New York, Queensborough YouTube webpage, and I have put that link in the description box below as well. There's more reference about Paragraph 175 in the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum website, and I've put that link in the description box as well. I really think it's important for every single person, whether you're gay or not, whether you're part of the LGBTQ plus community or not, to look at this and see the similarities of Trump's regime trying to erase LGBT history and LGBT people from mainstream society, which is exactly what Hitler did with gay men and paragraph 175. In fact, Trump regime's war against the LGBTQ plus community is far broader and a dragnet operation compared to what paragraph 175 was, which was a targeted operation against gay men. So in a sense, Trump's operation with the removal of the pride flag and attacks on the trans community and attacks on LGBTQ history, attacks on education, not being able to introduce LGBTQ literature into our educational system is essentially sheltering and is essentially erasing history and a group of people completely out of the mainstream as if we don't exist. And for the last 50 or 60 years, we have been fighting loudly and proudly that we exist and we are equal. And this attempt to revision, the attempt to erase LGBTQ history by removing the pride flag from Stonewall National Monument and going after trans people is not going to stop us from seeking equal rights as we have been for the past 60 years. We are not going to allow paragraph 175 or an even grotesque version of it to take form in the United States. And that's why it's important for everybody to raise your voices, because it's no longer criminal, illegal aliens who are murderers and rapists anymore. It is U.S. citizens, U.S. children, legal migrants, undocumented migrants who have no criminal history, and relatives of U.S. citizens. It's mentally ill people. It's people who are homeless. It's people that the government considers to be anti-fascist, or if they designate you as a protester, you become a domestic terrorist, because that's the posture that this government is taking. And now there's also a concurrent move to erase LGBTQ plus history from the history books and from visual remembrance. It's important to have a visual remembrance. And that is what Donald Trump is denying LGBTQ plus people by removing that flag. We're going to put up 100,000 flags, pride flags around New York City for every one pride flag that Trump brings down. That should be the message from the LGBTQ plus community. And people are beginning their protests. This news is spreading, and we're going to see how the LGBTQ plus community responds. And I hope it is not by going quiet, but rather by getting louder. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.